Are you ready for a prophetic adventure? Are you ready for extreme faith combined with extreme sport? This is Prayer Walk, where we follow a courageous woman that has set out to walk all across the borders of Norway to pray for the land. And yes, the nature and the weather in Norway is not tamed, so this is going to be a real challenge. And if you want to follow that journey, then I will be reporting on the real struggles, the tears, the challenges, the joys, the blessings and breakthroughs every Sunday. So stay tuned. It is time for another report, and this time I will be talking about a conversation that I had with our prayer walker quite, in the recent period, to be precise, about a week ago. It is Sunday, and it is time to have a look at it. So what's been going on? Well, Janne Christine, she is a lady that has set out to walk all across the borders of Norway to dedicate the land to God. And she started in the mountainous area that is in the core, kind of like in the heart of the nation. She's done a lot there already, but there is still quite a few mountains to be taken. But she's also headed into, a lot of obstacles. And so last time I talked to her, she was kind of like confused and a little bit depressed and frustrated. And we had this long talk to go through it. She knows that it is a position, and she knows, she expects, the enemy to try to attack and confuse and put down. But at the same time, when it happens, even the greatest of us get into that doubt and fear and start wondering, start questioning. And so Janne Christine did as well. She has this call. It is so obvious and so strong, and it's been confirmed in so powerful ways. And still, she got words on her inside saying, "Oh yeah? You think God has a plan for you? Look at yourself. You're in the middle of a big mess and He's not helping you." And words like, "There's no point in doing this. There's nothing important. Who do you think you are?" And these are the kind of words we should expect. When they come, we know where they come from. And we are to expect them, and when they come, we are to take them as compliments. Because if somebody is working so hard to push us down, to demotivate and make us give up and let go of that dream, let go of the faith, let go of the task that we've been called to, well, then it's obvious that somebody is threatened by that task. And there's all the more reason to go through with it. So when she called me and, she told me these kind of things, I started laughing. And I said, "I'm sorry. Please don't take it as a bad thing, but this is just too silly." The enemy has to be pretty desperate to believe, to think that you would buy this. And she knows. She has these powerful meetings and encounters with God in the middle of it all. So it is doubt and frustration and desperation mixed with revelation and breakthrough and hope. And it's not easy. It is not easy for the normal guy in the street, and it's not easy for the one that has taken on a call from God. It is so easy to believe that the ones who has this great and very specific call, well, they got it all. No, they don't. But they continue in the middle of it, and that's what is causing the breakthrough, as God sees that they still choose him, that they still keep putting that foot one step further and one step further. And that's how they move forward. And at some point, that door of opportunity, that breakthrough is coming. So I'm sharing this just to let you know and see the realism in it. She called me and she said, everything is falling apart. I've said that I'm not going to have my apartment any longer. I'm moving out, but I don't know where I'm moving. And my car, I need to change it. I need to change it because it's not really suited for the task that I have. And I found a car that would work, but I don't have the money to change it because it's like this and it's that. And then, I got this letter that says that I will be, my income will be reduced this and this much. And well, there was so many things, everything was wrong. And she felt, just disconnected. But we talked through it, and I started saying to her, you've taken on a task. And that task includes a lot of obstacles. It is not just to heal the heart of a nation. You don't just put down a stick and it's done. It is not that simple to create and establish a throne for God in a nation. All the things that are blocking his presence will pop up as a consequence of you taking on that challenge. And some of these challenges or obstacles may actually manifest in your life. All the mess that you are in may not actually be yours. Of course, it's playing on her old patterns, and some may absolutely be related to her, but at the same time, it may also speak of the condition of her task, of the challenge that she's taken on. And so we continued digging on that track. It was kind of like praying and digging and talking all in one. And we saw how her personal struggles right now do represent the struggles that the nation has. Like the flow of money, like Norway has been so blessed with a flow of abundance that came with the oil and fish. But at the same time, if people are moving away from God, then that may stop. And we've seen that lately, that, it's been shaken, and the nation is not that certain any longer that what we have will be there forever. And so that flow of the Spirit and the flow of resources, where of course God is the source. It was kind of like illustrated as, they have the mountains where this tent peg has been put, and where we declare the throne of God. But on these mountains there's snow, lots of snow. But during the spring and the summer, it is melting and causing clear, beautiful rivers of water to run down the mountainsides. And it ends up out in the valleys and the different places of the land where the people live. And so this flow from the throne, from God, is also the flow of the Spirit to us, and the flow of resources and funding. And when Janne Christine's flow of money is being challenged, then we get an opportunity to look at the nation. What is going on with our money? Well, it has been spoken of in Norway by prophetic people that we are being robbed. Not only are people, getting a little bit more away from God, but also the resources that we have, they being robbed by the EU, by humanitarian and different kinds of help that we send out to be good, but that is going to the wrong. It's trickery, it's fraud. Perhaps we think we are helping helpless kids in Africa, but the money goes for weapons to the king. Things like that. And then the car, that, was an obstacle, but that is the mission, the outreach, the tool that God has to reach people with his gospel, the ministry. And the ministry in Norway is kind of like in a bad shape, just like her car. And we really need something fresh, something more appropriate, something that comes directly from him. I'm not bashing anyone. I'm not saying that the ministries that are here are not good. There's lots of good stuff, but there's also a lot of fuss that shouldn't be there. There's also a lot of old, rigid superstition and traditions that are holding people down and actually holding people outside of the church, because those who are sensitive to that kind of thing just don't want to go. And there's also a lot of gathering just for, the coziness of eating cake and having fellowship. That's not what God is about. And during our prayer, I got so angry, and it wasn't my anger. I got just so incredibly angry that I was shouting, as if God was standing on that mountaintop shouting, saying, "Stop this nonsense. My house is not to be filled with cake and gossip." So we went through these kind of things and prayed over them, and then we had the house, the house of God, and the house that Janne Christine is searching for. It's like she desires to move to this mountainous area, but it's not done just in one, second. Because it is as if, she could just plant herself there by her own strength, but it is as if her moving there will be parallel to his throne truly being established. So then all the different layers and obstacles that are preventing his power to really manifest and take place there will need to be sorted before that can happen. But what is going on right now is that she has indeed managed to buy that kind of car where you can live in it. I'm not really sure what the name is in English. Like a mobile car, something like that. So that is a breakthrough. When she's moving out of the place she's living in right now, she will have somewhere to stay. And that is awesome. And in addition to that, she has received an offer to rent a room or a small apartment in a retreat center, a Christian retreat center, with prayer room and everything that she needs, in an area that is, it's kind of like in the middle of 3 mountain ranges. In that exact mountain area she is focusing on. Still, it is not as far up in the mountains that she wants, but it is a good start. And that is exactly the way that I do believe that this will have to go. She'll have to work her way into the core of this and getting established there, because it's going to be parallel with God's power being established there. But bit by bit, it is forming itself. And although, we get these clusters of depressing obstacles, that is also a sign that, okay, a new step towards the goal. has been revealed, and voila, here it is. This is the problem, but it's also the solution. So we spent time in prayer, and we spent time in prayer for Janne Christine, but we did it also even more for the nation, for the mountain area, for the symbolic things that this may be representing. I mean, would it be strange if God did it that way? It is absolutely biblical. So, well, we don't have the answer yet. It is a work in progress, but it is definitely a real path and a real challenge and a real, quest. Now, we also went into this topic about her, Janne Christine, being kind of like rootless. And she's been living a little bit here and a little bit there and kind of like not finding her place. And that is also part of this. I mean, I do believe God needed her to be a little bit here and a little bit there, to create networks and contacts and to learn and to just be prepared for what she's doing now. But then as she's moving towards getting her own place in this area and kind of like taking the territory for real, those roots are going to be planted, and perhaps she'll end up with a mountain farm sort of thing, and perhaps it will be a place where people can travel to and just dive into prayer and do a work for the nation, for themselves, whatever cause is put on the table. So these are, images of the path ahead, which is excellent because we do need visions to know where to walk and what to focus on. On the other hand, the path of walking it is always a lot more challenging than expected. I will be going into another prayer walk in a week. And I don't know if Janne Christine has done anything new by then. But I do have plenty of stuff from the past to cover. And so I will make sure that we get through all of the bits, bit by bit. I also have people that I would like to interview. But it just has to be done, in the order that God lays it out. But until next time, I wish you a blessed week. I want to give thanks to Kevin MacLeod, who's making the music that I'm using. It's free licensed music from incompetech.com. And before prayer walk next Sunday, I will have a new version of Spirit Talk on Saturday. It's going to be 10 a.m. US Pacific time, 1 p.m. in Eastern time, 18 o'clock UK London, and 19 o'clock in Central Europe. And the topic is going to be to follow Christ. And the same time of the day, prayer walk is going to come back, but that's going to be on Sundays. So until then, have a blessed week. God loves you. And I love you too.